Now this recipe is something really special. What's better than a lightly spiced aromatic potato mix in a flaky puff pastry which is so crispy and buttery and so delicious. Growing up, this was one of my favorite snacks to have at school, and I would have so many of these. And this is a must-have for anybody who grew up enjoying these patties, or for anyone who likes puff pastry in general. Let's get started. If you grew up having patties at school, then hit that subscribe button right now. Now we'll first get started by steaming our potatoes for our potato mix. So you can follow my recipe, which I'll link somewhere over here, on how to steam potatoes in the Instant Pot. But of course you can boil potatoes on the stove top if you want. While the potatoes are cooking, let's start with the actual spice mixture. In a pan, add some ghee or oil and then a pinch of hing, cumin seeds, green chilies and ginger. Saute that really nice until the rawness of that ginger has cooked off and the mixture is aromatic, and then add in your onions. At this point, give it a quick mix, add some salt and turmeric and cook on a medium heat until the onions turn soft. After you've cooked the turmeric for a few minutes, add in some ground coriander and then continue cooking until the onions soften. At this point, you might want to add a splash of water to prevent the spices from burning. By this time, our potatoes are ready, so I went ahead and peeled them, and once the onions have softened, then add it right into your pan. Season it with some salt and then just mix it all together. The potatoes are going to turn nice and yellow and it's just going to look really good. And then just to finish it, add in some lime juice to taste. And I really enjoy tasting it by enjoying some of that potato mixture with some tortilla or bread. It's just so good. Now you want to let this potato mix cool down before you work with the puff pastry, because you don't want that puff pastry to come at room temperature at all, because it's going to make it very hard to work with. So what I like to do is spread it thin on a plate to let that steam escape rapidly. Now we'll be baking these patties or turnovers on a baking sheet lined with some parchment paper. So I have that ready, and just to brush that puff pastry, whip up 1 egg. Or you can just use 1 egg yolk if you want. My oven has been preheating at 375, and that's going to be perfect to create that nice layered puff pastry and not rapidly cook it. You really want to cook it gently to give the puff pastry time to really puff up. Now what I did next while my phone was not recording is took out my puff pastry, with thawed in the fridge for a few hours, and then cut them into squares. So 1 sheet got me 4 squares. Then once your potatoes have cooled down, add in spoonfuls to the center of each square and then fold the turnover or the patty into a triangle. Now once you've shaped all your patties, use a fork and using the tines of the fork, seal the edges together. Now as soon as you take that puff pastry out of the fridge, it's gonna start to come up to room temperature, and you really want to work quick. So you want to have everything in place before you take out that puff pastry. Now go ahead and brush the tops of the patties with your egg mixture and then put the pan in the oven. Put it in the middle rack if you can. And now bake your patties or turnovers for about 35 to 40 minutes, turning the pan 180 midway through the cooking time. And after they're done cooking, you're gonna see something that looks just as beautiful as this. Golden brown all over. It's gonna puff up so much, and you're gonna know it's something magical because when you lift this to transfer it to a cooling rack or a wire rack, then you're gonna see just how light it is. It's like lifting a cloud because it's just so big, but there's literally no weight to it. What I find is you really enjoy and appreciate the different layers of the puff pastry when it has cooled down a bit than when you eat it fresh out of the oven when it's like burning hot. Or that might be a bias because that's how I used to eat these patties in school. So I recommend you go, bring your childhood nostalgia to your home kitchen and keep cooking. If you want more videos just like this one, be sure to hit subscribe, hit that bell icon, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye guys.